Jose is a Cuban artist, quite young Cuban artist, and he's been formally trained as a painter in San Alejandro Art Academy here in Havana, and then he moved to become an architect. So their superior studies, the university study that Jose did is as an architect. Then he continued working as an artist, and he has worked in different medias, mostly watercolor paintings. Also, he's working with digital painting and illustration. That is the body of work that we mostly share in Snark.art platform. Jose is an artist that I invited to Snark.art as a curator that I've been collaborating with this platform for a while now during this year. And I actually met Jose through his work. I think that is the best way to meet an artist and to fall in love with an artist is through his work. I was fascinated by what I saw in his Instagram account. I actually shared a few of his paintings through my personal account, and through that we made acquaintances and a friendship happened, and I'm really happy to be now working with him and with his work. Jose is being quite successful now in Snark.art. First we start with physical art, and then to some suggestions from Snark.art team, we moved to crypto art market and to digital art, because this is an area within Jose's work that is quite developed. So now I would like him to, after this introduction, I would like him to talk a little bit about his work, what inspired him, how different media allow him to express his ideas, what are their references. So we're going to start to do this conversation a little bit fluid, and in between we're going to start talking, maybe new questions will arrive. Actually, it's a shame that we have to pre-record this interview and not doing it live. That was the first idea that the team had, but because we are in Cuba, we have serious technical difficulties with the internet connection. So this was the most reliable way that we had to do it. So please, Jose, tell us a little bit about you, about your work, about the specific works that are now available in the platform.
Yeah, well, as Gladys told before, I was trained first as an artist in the National Academy of Arts, where I graduated from painting and drawing. And then I decided that I wanted to start another line of career, so I started architecture, which really helped me change my vision about art and about how I wanted to represent my art. Because the academy sort of blocked me in that way, but in architecture also like a whole new world of representation, also dealing with some personal changes in my life related to my sexuality and my relationship with the environment, with the urban space, with the people, etc. So that was sort of a starting point for me, this mix of careers.
Yes.
So the first thing that inspires me is the human body. I mean, I remember the first two artists that I was obsessed about was José Nazabal, an English-British artist, and Evan Schill, that they work centers in the human body. I remember this voluptuous, I don't know if that's a word. Bodies of José Nazabal that I never saw before, so expressive, so violent in a way, and that really marked me. And then I went to another huge level of clean lines and planes, that is David Hockney, that also really affected me, mostly during my architecture studies. So, and then I started, Instagram, for example, is a really intense way of inspiration to me, to see real people, to see how different people are and how different they experiment and express their body and themselves and their sexualities. So there is a mix of where I come from, where my works come from. So I decided to start to mix this, because in for example, talking about technique, I'm doing a little mix of everything.
That's okay.
Yeah. because everything is connected, right? The technique, the subject, and the image itself. So during my architecture studies, I always start drawing by hand because I have that ability that I get from the part. And then digitally, I corrected and add color. So I decided to apply that to another area that it was this human representation, these bodies representations, and that is when my digital mixed media art that is now in SNARC started. So that's it.
So you're saying that part of your inspiration comes from social media and seeing what other people are doing, not only locally. So social media also has expanded your idea of how people express themselves abroad. So if you want to talk a little bit more about that, what kind of subjects are you interested in representing? So your work is mainly figurative and mostly focused on the human body, but also as a place in which identity relies on how people express their identity through their bodies. So that's something that is quite there in your work. When I saw José's work for the first time, I felt it so fresh and so intimate at the same time. So I wasn't seeing this kind of work in the Cuban art scene. So I felt like this is new in a way. It's new for what is happening here in Cuba scenario, and also is the idea that José didn't need a gallery to represent him for me to get to José. So at the same time, Instagram, social media is allowing him to find their subjects to represent, but at the same time, it's allowing him to promote their work and reaching other people as a way also of connecting.
Yeah, definitely. Social media, especially Instagram, was like a huge. For me, it was like my starting point as an artist, because I was just finishing the career and I decided to open this Instagram account just about the drawings that I've been almacenando. Storaging. And then that is when everything started to happen with people. I saw that people start to pay attention to me and like my work, and I started to see a whole new level, because Cuba is a very particular environment, socially, economically, and everything. But talking about socially, for a queer person like me, that was kind of hard to grow. And here in Cuba, you don't see many queer representation, neither on the streets or on TV or anywhere. It's starting now, but really, really rough. But social media opened my eyes about that, and I started to see all these young people, all different kinds of people expressing themselves in a very different way. And that really, really inspires me. So Open Instagram was like the starting point about me starting to see myself as an artist, and also starting to grow, because I started to saw what is happening out there, and all these amazing people, regular people. I'm not talking about celebrities or everything. I'm regular people that have their accounts, personal accounts on Instagram, that were really open and obvious in the sexuality, because here normally queer people have to hide in order to success, or to have like a regular life, to have an access to opportunities. And so I saw this whole liberation on social media, and I started to feel better about myself. I started to express more freely in my art, and also I get a really good feedback, because as Gladys told, there are not many artists here that have had an approach to the human body, that queer body, that is not very representative. So yeah, social media has a really great impact, and also gave me a lot of opportunity as a SNARC, for example, but also many more.
Yeah, so you find your subject, some of your subjects you find it on social media, but also your work is quite self-referential. You have many self-portraits, also with your boyfriend, and if you want to talk a little bit more about that, because you consider yourself not only a queer person but a queer artist. So how your life is also related to your art in what specific way?
Yeah. Well, as a queer person living in this environment that I was talking about, with a long-term relationship with another man, dealing with all this struggle that we kind of had it easy because of our families and everything, but social struggles. So my work is really auto-referential. I use a lot of things that happen to me and happen in my relationship with my boyfriend, and use it. And not only, I like to represent like this regular day life for a queer person, also in order to normalize it. That is a subject that I care about, especially here in Cuba. But also I like to take that to, I have like these two extremes, like the regular one, I don't know how to do it, and also the extreme where I like to go to drama and to show images of my boyfriend holding my head cut off, like using also my art to work some through personal drama and personal struggles in the relationship and everything. And also because I feel like the queer culture is a culture that have been very oppressed. So it has a lot of drama already in it. For example, when we talk about the camp culture with its affectation and poses and drama and extravaganza, we see in drag queens that have to fictionize their personas in order to get like more extreme expression, and I really feel attracted to that representation, that you fictionize your body, your personality. Just someone in real life, but also you have another persona for the stage that is really, really different, and you get to express a lot of things that you don't do. I don't know, going to the store or in your own house. And I use that a lot as a source of inspiration. And yeah, that's it.
So we now have 3 works in different versions in the platform that are ready. I believe that they became available this week. These are Beach Ride, Really Honey, and Sexting About You. If you want to talk a little bit about these 3 works, what is the inspiration behind them, and what was the process of creating it?
Yeah, for example, Beach Rat is a very particular work of mine. I feel like it kind of represents my work really well. Most of the time, I got like a body reference, my boyfriend, or some people on Instagram that I use to create my work. But with Beach Rat, I didn't do that. I created that person in my head, like this ideal kind of beauty. And also talking about this drama, is like this person that is really affected by sunburn, like it's something that will really bother you or makes you feel uncomfortable, but that person somehow makes it to glamorize that pain and to take it to a fashion level.
It's like really sexy as well. The pose, something that is quite important in your work as well. How the pose of the character and how you represent it. Yeah,
and I decided to use these marks of the sun in the glasses, like there's someone that spend the whole day wearing these huge fashionable glasses and then have to take it off and show how they suffer in order to look good. And that it might sound superficial, but I think that it's also a fair approach to wear like. So yeah, that's what the Beach Rat. Really Honey was also a really important work to me because it was a collaboration with the Cuban fashion magazine. They asked me, they saw my work, and it was also when I started to see that my work works. The people like it. They saw something on it. In it. So I decided to create this dialogue between these 2 characters very relatable to my relationship. Like this person waiting in the back, half naked, and the other person like having this really strange phone call, half naked, also like they just had sex, but there is something else going on, like someone have to leave. Like to have this kind of mystery that hangs around this two men relationship that have to stay an hour in a hotel in order to have sex because in their house they can't. That's something that happens a lot here and happens to me, and so I decided to use that. For example, I now recalling one of my biggest inspirations also is Nan Goldin, American photographer, that she captured all this queer life, this underground queer life that I feel really, really inspired about. And this really honey kind of represents that. Like this could be a picture that she could take in a regular day, but also that contains a lot of information, a lot of things going on behind. And then sexting about you is also a lot about myself, like discovering sex through internet and to text messages and to WhatsApp and DMs and everything. And it's like this person, like I was talking about drag, fictionalizing itself, they self, into this androgynous kind of being that can be anything, and taking pictures or making a beautiful call in the dark, like hiding. Is like I have the trauma with hiding and everything, because they can express that kind of freedom out in the light, at least as my experience, my personal experience. And so they use it to connect with other people and to have sex or anything, or any kind of connection. Not necessarily have to be sexual.
So I think that these are great. I'm finding out new things now through this conversation, even though we talk a lot about how this works. So I recommend you to go check these images out. Please follow José Nazabal. His Instagram is amazing. And also check in snark.art platforms. All the works are now available. Thanks, Snark, again.
Thank you
for giving us the opportunity. Bye.
Bye.